Daniel Jones rejects the Raiders and hopes to be a backup on a contending team. Aidan OConnell is finally back in action just in time to play the Chiefs on Black Friday, and who knows, he might actually beat them. And the Raiders actually hold the number 2 pick in the NFL draft.
And you tell them one thing, just win, baby. It's because you're not feeling Uzi.
What is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Samora Raider, back at it again with another episode of Nation News. Now, I know it's been quite a while since I've done one of these, but I'm trying to bring it back on a weekly basis, trying to get more acclimated on YouTube. But with that aside, though, if this is the very first time you are coming across this channel and you love the Las Vegas Raiders, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Now, let's start things off with Daniel Jones. Of course, we all know that the Raiders are in big need of a quarterback, especially with Gardner Minshew going down and out for the rest of the season with a broken collarbone. And of course, one name that has been floating around, especially after that injury, has been Daniel Jones.
Oh, hell no!
Though many fans would rather jump off the stratosphere than to watch Daniel Jones in the silver and black, one thing was certain, that the Raiders were actually interested in the former first-round pick. So with all the speculations up in the air and waiting whether or not Daniel Jones was going to clear waivers, breaking news came out according to Jordan Schultz that Daniel Jones eliminated the Raiders as a possibility and says that he would prefer to join a contender and play backup. What? Who does he think he is to reject us? It's not like we wanted to anyways. I don't see any Raider fans losing sleep after not getting Daniel Jones. but in all seriousness though, Raider Nation, one reason why he said he didn't want to come over here is because he wants to go and sign with a contending team. Not to start, of course, because I don't think any contenders is going to want to bring in Daniel Jones to play, but to be a backup. And hey, to each their own. It's not like the Raiders are in no position to be in the playoff picture. Of course, we know that we're tanking. We're going to be getting a top pick in the NFL draft. So I guess it's back to square one. And luckily for the Raiders, it looks like we ain't going to be going out and looking for another quarterback because Aidan OConnell will be returning to the Raiders this week. Now, Antonio Pierce was asked about this in his press conference on whether or not we could expect AOC back this week, and this is what he had to say.
So we'll see if Aidan is good to go. He's been ramping up, so just seeing him, able to grip the ball, comfortable, hopefully no pain there, and just being able to be efficient. To put a player out there that's, hurting or injured still, that's not in the benefit of the player or our team.
But Aidan will be designated to return to practice?
Yes, sir.
Now, Aidan OConnell has been on IR since breaking his thumb in Week 7 versus the Rams. And today, according to Tom Pelissero, he broke the news saying that the Raiders are preparing to start Aidan OConnell at quarterback on Friday against the Chiefs, per sources. Aidan OConnell returns to practice on Monday and got the first team reps. As long as the week goes well, it's AOC's time again. I guess it's kind of ironic that Aidan OConnell is going to be returning just in time for the Black Friday game. And the last time these guys faced off, the last time that Aidan OConnell faced off against the Chiefs, we won. So one question is, could history repeat itself? Who knows? It is a short week and anything can happen. So if Aidan OConnell isn't ready to go, of course, we're going to see Desmond Ridder out there starting. And damn, I don't know. I don't know how excited I would be to see Desmond Ridder out there because the last time we seen him play, he's been looking horrible. But with that said, though, speaking of the quarterback situation right now, one interesting take that I had after AP's press conference yesterday was the fact that he talked about the difference between the rest of the AFC West teams and the Raiders right now and the lack of quarterback play that we have over here in Las Vegas compared to the rest of the AFC West teams. This is what he had to say.
Look at the rest of the division in the AFC West. What are you kind of seeing going on in the division?
They're winning. Quarterback play. Bottom line. Quarterback play. The quarterback play with the other three teams, to me, is the biggest difference.
He's saying everything that we have been saying. Whether or not a lot of people want to speculate that AP had a decision to make with whoever he had at quarterback, whether he was just stuck with what he had, I think he still had a hand in picking the quarterback that was going to start this year. He had a hand in picking the quarterback to bring over here in Las Vegas, to draft any of the quarterbacks to come over here to Las Vegas and play. He's one of those guys that put a hand in starting Gardner Minshew this season. It did not work out, and it goes back to him and the rest of this organization, the rest of the staff, I guess, from the GM all the way down. Us fans, we know that the quarterback play has not been up to par. Ever since we moved on from Derek Carr, we have not addressed the quarterback situation, and I've talked about this many times. Now, I feel like we are now on the verge of getting a quarterback for the future because of how bad we've been playing this year. It's only a matter of time that we're gonna, get a top 3 pick, a top 5 pick, wherever we may land. A quarterback is gonna be at the top of that list. But I know that there's a lot of fans, of course, saying that AP was just dealt with this, and we can't blame AP. I would say that AP is a part of that decision, and he's part of the reason why we are in the position that we are right now. But I will say that AP right now is just kind of owning up to it and understanding that we just cannot compete with the quarterbacks that we have right now. And I'm still going to be one of those guys on the fence saying that, you know what, let's give AP another chance. And I know there's a lot of other people out there saying that we should cut him after this year. Who knows what's going to happen at the end of the year, but I think we just give him another year, let him go get the quarterback that he wants, let him go out and find the offense coordinator that he wants. Even though he threw our OC under the bus this past week. Nonetheless, I just feel like right now in this position, there was no need to go out and get Daniel Jones, especially if AOC was going to be ready to go for this weekend's game. We just got to thug it out and tank the rest of the season. Of course, there's going to be people that don't want to tank, and I'm one guy that really doesn't want to tank. But at the end of the day, we're not really fighting for much but pride, because we're not going to go to the playoffs. We don't got nothing planned up, nothing geared up for us at the end of the season. We're just fighting for pride and finding out who's going to be the right players to keep on this roster and who we need to cut at the end of the season. But as much as I say I want to get a top pick, do I want to win this week against the Kansas City Chiefs? Hell yes. If there's one game that I'd rather win this year, it would be against the Kansas City Chiefs, just so we can have some bragging rights, or maybe even beat the Chargers at the end of the season. Who knows? I don't know. But I want to ask you guys, Raider Nation, what would you guys rather do? Would you guys want to keep that losing streak going until the end of the year, or would you guys want to just put that aside just for 1 week and go and beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City this weekend? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, speaking of tanking, that brings me to my other bit of news. The Raiders actually have the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft right now. Now, hear me out. I know a lot of Raider fans are saying, yo, no, we actually have the number 3 pick. Look it up, yada, yada, yada. Now, I know according to tankathon.com, everybody's been on it all season long. It shows that we are number 3. But there's actually a lot of reports going around that the Raiders actually have the 2nd overall pick ahead of the Jags due to strength of schedule, according to the NFL. Now, I did a little bit of digging, and I was wondering why this and why that, because there's been a lot of confusion going around. But this is what I found. Now, the reason why most of this is different, Tankathon versus the NFL and whatnot, is the fact that Tankathon calculates strength of schedule based on the entire 17-game schedule. Some other models only take into account the strength of schedule of games played to this current point in the season. So far, the Raiders have a weaker strength of schedule than the Jaguars, but that's going to change soon. In their final 6 games, the Jaguars face 4 teams, including the Raiders, with 3 wins or less on the season. If the Jets, Raiders, and Giants lose the rest of their games, which is impossible considering that the Raiders play the Jaguars, Jacksonville will draft ahead of the Las Vegas Raiders. If you're rooting for the Raiders to get a top pick in the draft, they most likely won't hold their tiebreaker with anyone. That means the Raiders and Jaguars have a huge game to have for them December 22nd at Allegiant Stadium. The loser of that game could be the big winner when the draft rolls around. So with all the confusion out the way, with all that being said though, everything comes down to strength of schedule, and that Jags and Raiders game on the 22nd of next month is going to be a really crucial one for the Raiders, whether or not we want to continue to tank and get a top pick or get a number 1 or number 2 pick is going to determine on that game, and on top of that, whether or not we lose the rest of the season. But as sad as it sounds, it is what it is. We know that we need a future quarterback. We know that this draft is going to be really huge for the Raiders. We know that this upcoming offseason is going to be really huge for the Raiders. It just kind of sucks to say that, we need to lose some games just to get a brighter future, especially this year. There's a lot of fans that want to go out and watch the games. The holiday season is right around the corner, and I don't want to see any more losses. But then again, I don't want to see the Raiders lose a top pick if we could go get a Cam Ward, a Shador Sanders, or even a Travis Hunter, whoever it may be. It's a double-edged sword right now for the Raiders, because I know I'm probably going to go to 1 more game maybe, or maybe 2 more games, who knows, but I want to go and expect to win. What do you guys think, Raider Nation? I know it doesn't really mean much whether we have the 2nd or 3rd pick, because we know we're going to get that quarterback. You never know with the Raiders. We could get somebody that we don't expect at all, but I hope that doesn't happen. With that being said though, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Until the next one, this is your boy Samoa Raider, and your boy is Yow.